Hello, we are Bradley Elementary School and we're going to be talking about our story for continuous improvement by looking at our data and thinking about our planning for this year. We are a school with 441 students last year. We are grades pre-K through sixth grade. We have 25 classroom teachers in those grade levels and 3 instructional aides that we share as a whole school. Our students are pretty unique because they come from entirely military families, since we are entirely located on the base of Fort Leavenworth, and our staff is a mix of military and non-military members. Our student demographics, if you look at the race and ethnicity pie chart here, you see that we do have majority of white students, but we're actually fairly diverse with the rest of it. We have 6.6% Black students, 13.2% Hispanic students, and our other category, if you could really break that down further, would be very diverse considering our amount of international students that we have at our school. We do not have a lot of economically disadvantaged students in our school and ELL students. We do not have that large of a percent either, but the ones that we do have come from all over the world and speak all sorts of languages. All right, question number 2, how do we do business here at Bradley Elementary? Well, some of the school processes that we have in place are we have intervention time in every classroom every day for 30 minutes daily, and that's Tier 2 intervention. We also have power reading and power math. That's a Tier 3 intervention for 30 minutes daily for students that require it. We have sensory lab in the morning every day for 20 minutes for schools that have been recommended for that. And then we also have military family life counseling services that are by appointment and by referral. Question number 3, where are we at now? Well, one of the biggest pieces of student learning data that we have are our state assessments for grades 3, 4, 5, and 6. This shows our ELA scores for the 2016 and 2017 school years, and it's comparing the buildings versus our district versus the state. As you can see, in all grade levels, and in both years for the most part, we are outperforming the state by far and normally outperforming our district as well. This is the same thing for grades 3, 4, 5, and 6, but in math. And same thing, we are doing a fabulous job outperforming the state on every single grade level in both of the school years, and usually outperforming our district. Although in grade 5 and grade 6, it's not always the case in both years. But either way, you can see we have a large percentage of students that are performing at level 3 and level 4, which is proficiency, which is fabulous. All right, question number 4, why do we exist as a school here at Bradley Elementary? Well, from our website, our mission is to develop a community of continuous learners. So what does that really mean? Where do we want to be? That's a little bit more specific. So some of the goals that our school has identified is to develop math and reading proficiency in all students. Teachers will challenge students to use higher order thinking skills using Bloom's taxonomy within classroom instruction, and an open, positive, collaborative learning and working environment where all students and staff feel safe. So, question number 6, what are the gaps between our goals and what the data is showing us? Well, our first goal that we stated says develop math and reading proficiency in all students. We can look back at that data that we have from the state assessment scores for grades 3 through 6, and the gaps are obviously the students who score at level 1 and 2 are not scoring as proficient in reading or math. So that would be the gap that we need to really focus in on, are why are those students not performing at proficiency level, and what are the subgroups of students in there, and what can we do to help address that gap. Our second goal was teachers will challenge students to use higher order thinking skills using Bloom's taxonomy within classroom instruction. The data that we have is not great, but we do have some observations and teacher evaluations that point to that goal. And when we look at that, we see that mostly only the enrichment groups of students are exposed to the highest level questions in Bloom's taxonomy. So to address this gap, we need to be thinking about how can we get even our lower groups of students to engage in higher order thinking. And our last goal set an open, positive, collaborative learning and working environment where all students and staff feel safe. Well, the data, we really have none currently. We need to implement school-wide surveys for staff, students, and parents, which we're planning on doing this starting this next coming school year. That will help us start to evaluate what our baseline is for this goal, and then anything that we put in place in the future, we can measure whether that has made a difference or not. So when we do get that data, we'll be interested to look at gaps of what subgroups of students have the highest or lowest rankings for their feelings about the school environment, and that might be able to help us target specific issues that are going on in the school that are not making this a reality for certain groups of people. So moving forward, we will work on creating action plans to help us reach our goals, as well as collecting additional measures of data to evaluate our progress towards our goals. Thank you.